Assalamu alaikum. Yesterday, I found a video of different scholars and their stand on taraweeh, and I made an Urdu short video because we have lots of videos about not doing taraweeh this Ramadan in corona virus and the COVID-19 epidemic. But I went a step further. I was saying that what I was saying actually a few years ago, I repeated that, and people said that I should make this video in English also. I said a few years ago when Islamophobia was rising very fast in the United States that we are here to win the hearts and minds of our neighbors, both from an Islamic point of view, that our job is to give the message of Islam. And the other thing is from a strategic point of view is that unless we have friends in the community, our enemies, the racists, the white supremacists, and the Islamophobes will succeed. And I gave also the example that in India, because of our, some of our misdeeds, the RSS, which is a Hitler-loving fascist organization, had been able to recruit a lot more people than it would have, such as when we, from 10 different masajid in a small locality, we give the Fajr Azan in a very over loudspeakers and not in a very nice way. And now the ramification of that has been so bad that now many people are demanding that the Azan itself should be banned. So if we had been more wise, or have we been wiser, we would have assigned somebody with a nice lahan to give the Azan and just one Azan on the loudspeaker from a locality, etc., right? And the other thing is we did not reach out and take care of the downtrodden, like Dalits, the untouchables, the apartheid caste system, etc. So I was saying a few years ago that in Taraweeh, in summer, our Taraweeh ends at 12 midnight, and we wake up the people. We park in front of their driveways. We wake them up. We talk loudly. For what? I mean, Taraweeh is not even a fard prayer. It's not an obligatory prayer. When we go for Hajj, we do not do many acts of worship, which is Sunnah, if in attempt to do those acts, if we are hurting or have to push somebody in that rush, right? So how can we do Taraweeh and hurt people and their peace and their quiet? I would not like people going to church or temple at midnight making loud noises or blocking my driveway when I go out for my call. So I said, let us do Taraweeh in only limited masajid, in masajid which are in isolated areas with big parking lots, or hire, rent school building, etc. So people said, no, it's our right, you are being a coward. I said, wait a minute, you have never come out for any rally. You are scared to write a letter in the media, and here I have been fighting in the media for the last 30 years. When people were scared to call out America when it invaded Afghanistan and later Iraq, many Muslim organizations, leaders were scared to. And I was part of the anti-war movement with Imam Abdul Malik Mujahid and a few others. So don't call me a coward. It is not cowardice, it is strategy, and it is good Islam that you take care of your neighbors. So hopefully when this Ramadan ends, even next year when there is no coronavirus, we will, now that we have learned that Taraweeh is not an obligatory prayer, we do not come for 5 obligatory prayers. We do not do a lot of obligatory acts like taking care of our neighbors, or standing up for justice, or standing up against war. So after this season is over, next Ramadan, let us do Taraweeh in a limited way, where we do not hurt our neighbors. So something good should come out of this coronavirus epidemic, right? So that's what my video was. And I attached the clips from different scholars who said that the Taraweeh actually was supposed to be in just before, Suhoor is a tahajjud prayer. It's not a special, an additional prayer. And Prophet ﷺ actually stopped people after 3 days, and it was reinstated in the time of Hazrat Umar. And Hazrat Umar, even Hazrat Usman, even Abu Bakr, all, may Allah be pleased with them all, did not do this taraweeh. So let us do taraweeh, but do it in our homes or in an isolated masjid. As for listening to the Quran, we can do it in non-taraweeh also. And taraweeh in those areas where the night is a very short night, in Finland, Norway, northern Siberia, northern Canada, southern Chile, etc. Those short night, by the time, so how are people going to sleep? And how are they going to go to jobs? So do not have this added hardship. And then they, do not do other obligatory prayers because they had no sleep that night. So inshallah, our scholars in the West will come out of this, this crazy obsession about a non-obligatory prayer at the cost of obligatory acts of worship. So that's what I was saying in that video. Yes. No, I'm in quarantine not because I am symptomatic or I'm confirmed. I was just exposed to, couple of patients and colleagues who tested positive. So it's just the protocol. I don't have a fever or, cough, just some headaches and minimal shortness of breath, which I think is not related to coronavirus. So I'm doing fine, and a lot of people, I'm tired because of the headache and because I did not sleep. So they saw the Urdu clip and they were worried. But as I said, this kind of pandemic, which we never saw, makes you more pensive when you think more. A lot of things that you want to put out for discussion, you want to do that just in case you get sick or something. That's why those increased videos and increased posts and writing, etc. But you don't have to worry. Thank you. No, I don't think that people will agree with me, most of the people, because not on intellectual or fiqh grounds, because I'm not saying do not have taraweeh. I just said let us do it in a way that we do not hurt our neighbors. But people will not, because taraweeh has become so important for them. It has become, and because they will not really think, many Muslims do not think deep and hard. They just do it because their forefathers did it, kind of a thing, a lot of other things. And also because of money involved, because in Ramadan and Taraweeh, the masajid do the fundraising, and and different organizations, relief organizations, etc. For example, the community doesn't think, when we were asking for money for Burma task force, which we launched, warning that there's a genocide coming, nobody gave money, very few people, and no organization took this case. But as soon as the genocide started, the relief organization started getting millions of dollars, because our community is generous, but they don't think, even though relief organizations could not go into Burma, and later they could not even go into Bangladesh. Some of them were going to Thailand. So, I don't think many masajid will agree, because dawah, inviting people to Islam, being strategic, winning hearts and minds is not important. I mean, people don't think much. Most of the Islam is practiced as a ritual, right? But my job is to say what I think is very important for the, progress of the community and for interfaith relations. We should fight for our rights to have our masjid, to have our graveyard, to be equal under the law. Lots of things that we should fight for environment, against corruption, against homelessness and all that. So, but, we should pick our fights and we should prioritize. That's okay. If the masajid do not listen to me, that's fine. But lot of people will at least start thinking strategically, start to have their priorities right, and start to win the hearts and minds of people, start to invite them to worship of one God, and to submit to the will of God to attain peace, peace in the world and within yourself and between people, between, I mean, the best definition of Islam that I actually got was from Ivan Haddad, a Lebanese Christian, long time ago. When I was writing a newspaper article, I came across a statement says, Islam, which means peace, you attain that peace by surrendering to Allah's will, and peace within yourself, peace between different human beings, peace between man and other creatures, peace between, man and the environment. And that happens because you surrender your free will out of, without any coercion. That is why both surrender and peace, they have the same root. Islam and salam both are derived from the same root, right? So, okay.